The Fort Smith Board of Directors goes for a third time to vote to put the change of form of government on the ballot in November. Will it pass? I don't know. Hey everybody, welcome to Give Me 5 Minutes with Fort Smith City Director Neil Martin. Before we get to that question, let's go ahead and talk about what we discussed last week in our study session. We looked at our budget through 2 quarters. The operating budget is in good shape right now. We discussed closure of water fill stations around Lake Fort Smith water treatment plant. We talked about changing water meter usage from CCF to gallons. It's not going to happen anytime soon, if at all. But we also talked about data centers, and ultimately what this board is wanting to do is make it very difficult for a data center to come in the city of Fort Smith. So that's the stance of the board. That's what it sounded like to me. So I don't envision any data centers in the city of Fort Smith. Now, this Tuesday, we have a regular meeting, a voting meeting where we vote on a number of items. The first thing we're voting on is that calling a special election to consider the change in form of government. This is the 3rd time we've done it. It's failed twice before. Will it fail or will it ultimately pass? As you know, petitioners who are seeking a change in form of government turned in signatures a couple weeks ago. Those are being counted. The board could bypass all of that and put this on the ballot in November. We also will be voting on an ordinance prohibiting relocation of transient and unhoused individuals to the city of Fort Smith. This is something that I brought up to try to combat and curb our growing homelessness problem. So more to come. Obviously, you want to pay attention to that. We will also be voting to execute an agreement with the housing authority for them to build some low-income housing on the Bailey Hill area just east of Towson Avenue. They're requesting $1 million from the Streets, Bridges, and Associated Drainage sales tax. This was money that they say was promised well before now, and they are wanting that in order for them to be able to construct these homes. It'd be 34 homes on 7 acres. Really make that area look a lot nicer. There was an old reservoir there. Nobody's been able to develop on it. They say the city agreed to $1 million, and there's some documentation that kind of backs that up. But do we give the $1 million? That'll be an interesting discussion. We've got probably about $2 million in consent decree projects that are coming, and we also will be voting to approve some water projects, and those water projects include $15 million in congressionally directed spending. $3 million from Congressman Womack, $12 million from Senator Bozeman. We give thanks for them bringing that back to our area, so $15 million. And there's another $13 million that is coming from a grant related to, or that could potentially be coming from a grant related to the FMS mission. So maybe we'll see some dividends from that. $13 million that can go towards water projects. It can go towards the transmission line, the water transmission line that we're talking about. So a number of things on the agenda this Tuesday. I hope you'll come be a part of it. It is at the Blue Lion, 101 North 2nd Street in downtown Fort Smith. Come out, listen to those discussions, be a part of the conversation, and a lot of things that are going on. I encourage you to look at the full agenda. I only discussed a few things. Look at the full agenda at fortsmithar.gov/watch. That's it for this week's Give Me 5. I hope the information was informative and made you better aware of the items that are in front of your board of directors. Everybody have a great week, and we'll do this again next Sunday on Give Me 5.